My lazy sister-in-law wanted to lose weight, so she bought a lot of diet pills and took them every day. I advised her that diet pills have side effects and it is better to exercise more, but she ignored me and forced me to take them with her. She also instigated my brother to marry me to an old man in exchange for a gift, and spent all her savings on diet pills. Later, she suffered from cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases due to the side effects of the drugs. She was hospitalized for a month and gained weight to 180 pounds. In a state of collapse, he rushed into my room with a knife and stabbed me to death on the bed. It was all my fault that if you had persuaded me at the beginning, I would not have become so ugly now. When I opened my eyes again, I returned to the day when my sister-in-law was making a fuss about losing weight. It seemed that I could not wear last year's clothes. Did I gain weight again? My sister-in-law's nagging voice brought me back to my senses from my trance. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw my sister-in-law holding a skirt and standing in front of the mirror to gesture. Through the mirror I saw me staring at her. My sister-in-law looked at me with contempt and her mouth was hushed. Look at you, you are almost as fat as a pig. If you don't lose weight, how can you get married in the future? Look at your waist, it's like a bucket. I tell you, men like a small waist like mine that can be held with 2 hands. Pantene kept talking about me and belittling me while showing off how perfect her body parts are. It was the same in my previous life. Pantene was very strict about her figure. She said that I, who was 1.65 meters tall and weighed 120 kilograms, looked like a reincarnated fat pig. I was still immersed in the joy of rebirth and didn't notice that he was putting the skirt on his hand. Soon I was pulled back to my thoughts by his scream. The smallest size skirt, the side waist zipper couldn't be pulled up. Pantene was so angry that she cried. I actually gained weight. No, I have to start losing weight. He held his phone, waving his fingers wildly. I saw from the corner of my eye that he was chatting with a man called AI, Professional Weight Loss Customization. I don't know what he said, but Pantene quickly transferred 5,000 yuan to him. I knew he was buying weight loss pills and I stopped him like in my previous life. The merchant who sold weight loss pills relied on a few photoshopped comparison pictures in the circle of friends to promote. Let Pantene believe that the 3 no products in his hands are super effective weight loss tools, and invest a lot of money and energy in this and even eat badly. In the previous life, he forced me to eat it for a few days at the beginning. Later I found that I was short of breath, insomnia at night and hair loss. I immediately realized that this thing was wrong. I didn't eat it anymore. Anyway, whoever wants to lose weight can lose weight. No matter how beautiful the skin is, it is not as important as physical health. After transferring the money, he continued to educate me. Sasha, starting tomorrow you will lose weight with me. He is so fat that it would be embarrassing for our family if others see him outside. I rolled my eyes and ignored him. It happened that my parents and brother came back from get off work at this time. Panting's face changed, and she wiped her tears and went to meet him. Qingyang, look at your sister. I said a few words to her and she gave me a face. Is there any place for me in this family? She cried and made a fuss, as if she had suffered a great injustice, but after getting married, she obeyed Panting's orders. I felt so distressed when I heard her cry that I raised my hand and slapped me. Be more polite to your sister-in-law, otherwise I will find an old man to marry you off. My parents value sons over daughters, and they have long wanted to marry me off to exchange for the gift money to subsidize the family expenses. Hearing this, she nodded in agreement. With someone's support, Panting stopped crying and put her hands on her waist and scolded me. Did you hear me? If you are obedient, I will marry you to an old man. I covered my face and cried and ran back to my room. I closed the door and smiled. Losing weight is good. Pantene will drag this family into the abyss sooner or later. The weight loss pills I bought online were delivered very quickly. Just after lunch the next day, Pantene came out with a big box of things. She came back and unpacked the box in the living room. The box was full of weight loss pills. The colorful packaging boxes did not even have the ingredient list and manufacturer. It was obviously an irregular 3 no product. A piece of precautions for taking the pills was also attached. Pantene did not even read the precautions and directly crumpled the paper and threw it into the trash can. Then he held those colorful boxes and smiled from ear to ear. When he saw me coming over to see him showing off, he picked up a box and stuffed it into my hand. Don't say that I, your sister-in-law, am not good to you. This is a good thing for weight loss. I'll give you a box. If you eat it, you will be thinner and look better. When you get married in the future, you can ask for a higher gift. He took the remaining boxes back to the room like treasures. When I saw this box of weight loss pills, I remembered the bloated Pantene lying on the hospital bed in my previous life. He looked ferocious as he stabbed me with a knife. I knocked on his door and stuffed the box back into his hands. I don't deserve such a good thing. Sister-in-law, you should keep it and eat it slowly. I will start running in the morning to lose weight tomorrow. She closed the door and cursed. If you don't want to eat it, it's a waste to give you a good thing. Pantene is actually not fat. She is 1.58 meters tall and weighs only a little over 100 kilograms. However, she particularly believes that a standard body shape is one that weighs less than 90 kilograms. Even when she sees a slightly plump figure on the street, she will point fingers at people behind their backs and secretly call them fat pigs. She clamors to lose weight every few days, but she can't control her mouth and is too lazy to exercise, so her weight can never go down. In the evening, Pantene started her own weight loss plan. I saw with my own eyes that she stuffed several capsules into her mouth and a cup of turbid liquid made from some unknown powder. My mother stewed chicken soup for dinner. As soon as it was on the table, my mother couldn't wait to pull out a big chicken leg and stuffed it into my sister-in-law's bowl, saying flatteringly, "Chin chin, come and try the old hen that mom specially stewed for you. Eat it to replenish your body and make sure you get pregnant with a big fat grandson soon." This time Pantene's medicine took effect and she had a poor appetite. When she saw the chicken there was a layer of oil film floating on the soup, and she retched. She got angry and swept the bowl in front of her to the ground with a wave of her hand. Then she pointed at my mother's nose and cursed, "You old woman, you did it on purpose. I told you that I wanted to lose weight, but you still made such greasy food for me. Do you think that by fattening me up, your son will look down on me and let me go out and be laughed at by others?" The chicken leg rolled on the ground twice and was covered with a layer of dust. It was a pity, I still want to eat it. My mother's face turned red and white when she was scolded. I could only pinch my nose and coax her in a low voice. "It's all my fault. Don't be angry. I'll cook 2 light dishes for you again. The chicken is for you, Exine." She pulled off half of the chicken and stuffed it into my bowl. Her eyes were full of pain. I gave it to her and scalded her to death. "Let him go out." I was happy to be laughed at so much that I held the chicken rack and gnawed it. My brother was so greedy that he Pantene swallowed her saliva beside him. Not only did she lose weight herself, she also insisted that my brother not eat meat. He said he didn't want to be married to a fat pig. My brother didn't have any skills. For many years, he only worked as a small contractor on a construction site. The thing he was most proud of was marrying my sister-in-law, this beautiful woman. He felt proud when he heard the praises of his co-workers when he took her out, so he always obeyed Pantene's orders. When Pantene saw my brother, her eyes were fixed on the chicken leg in my bowl. She pinched him and told him to eat it. "If you get as fat as Shasha, I will divorce you." My brother nodded and smiled and said, I'll listen to you, I'll listen to you. I don't know what ingredients the weight loss pills Pantene bought are in them. I was awakened by his laughter before dawn the next day. I really lost weight. I got up, washed, changed into sportswear and prepared to go out. When I passed the living room, Pantene was standing. He crossed his legs and said to me in a sarcastic tone, "Are you going for a run? TSK TSK TSK. A fool like you can't lose weight no matter how hard you work, unlike me." He stretched out 2 fingers at me and said, "I didn't do anything yesterday, but I lost 250 grams. His tone was exaggerated, as if he had lost 15 pounds. I just smiled and agreed with him. "That's amazing. I wish you success soon. Running is just an excuse." In fact, I found a part-time job at a breakfast shop online. After experiencing what happened in my previous life, I understand that this shop has been rotten to the core. I must prepare to leave as soon as possible. With the effect of the first day, Pantene believed more in the effect of weight loss pills. After taking them for more than half a month, the weight of the microbox weight loss product was exhausted. She also lost weight visibly. The skirt that she had been thinking about can finally be worn. Pantene happily wore the skirt and looked in the mirror in the living room, looking at her slim figure. Her face was sallow, her waist and collarbone were covered with tears, and she was grinning from ear to ear, but she didn't notice that her face had become sallow recently. The box of medicine was clearly for a month, and Pantene was anxious. Sometimes when she weighed herself in the morning and there was no change, she would increase the dosage that day. She had to pursue it, and the number on the scale would drop every day. After more than half a month of tossing and turning, her cheeks had a tendency to sink. The side effects of the medicine caused long-term insomnia, and she needed to use thick foundation every day to cover her dark circles. The bathroom floor was also littered with her fallen hair. She was pushing herself into the abyss step by step. The first incident was in the 2nd month of Pantene's weight loss. At that time, she had bought 3 diet pills and lost nearly 10 pounds. The skirt that she couldn't wear at the beginning was now hanging empty on her body. Because the medicine suppressed her appetite, she ate very little at each meal, but due to malnutrition, he fainted at home and was sent to the hospital. The doctor showed him the test results and advised him not to lose weight excessively, but he scolded the doctor for talking nonsense. He said, "I know my own body best. I only need to lose a few more pounds to reach the standard figure. Look at the fat around your waist. Are you jealous that I am slimmer than you?" Despite the dissuasion of Dr. Gu and my brother, he insisted on being discharged from the hospital that day. At dinner, Pantene was sulking with a pale face. My brother and mother coaxed her in a gentle voice, saying, Chin, let's listen to the doctor and eat more. Don't lose weight. Your figure is already very standard. The whole family advised her to listen to the doctor and eat more, but her mother didn't listen to a word. Only I supported her, saying, Sister-in-law, I see you bought that weight loss product. I have a way to have the best of both worlds. Look at your figure recently. She has maintained herself so well. If you are really afraid of gaining weight by eating too much, you can eat more diet pills after meals. Wouldn't that way you won't gain weight? This is a good idea, and Pantene immediately agreed. With my support, Pantene resumed her normal diet. Sometimes when she couldn't eat anymore, she would force herself to eat a few more bites. After eating, she would immediately take her diet pills. I was happy watching from the side. Eat. Her body will collapse soon after eating. Try to increase the amount. Pantene found a professional weight loss customization person and bought diet pills more frequently. At the beginning, she bought them once a month and then 3 times a month. Each time she bought several thousand. In 2 or 3 months, she spent 50 or 60,000. Our family is ordinary. My parents and brother all work on the construction site. The 3 of us only earn about 100,000 a year. Pantene usually loves shopping. After buying clothes and jewelry, and spending on living expenses, there is not much money left in a year. The savings from the past few years were all spent on my brother and sister-in-law's wedding, and I haven't saved any money in the past 2 years. After Pantene married into my family, in order to show their importance to her, my parents handed over their salary cards to Pantene, saying that they would let the new daughter-in-law be in charge of the family. Now Pantene spends tens of thousands of dollars every month to buy diet pills. Soon, the money on my parents' salary cards and my brother's salary cards were overdrawn. My family members had no idea that the diet pills Pantene bought were so expensive. I heard my brother asked her once, and he lied that it only cost a few hundred yuan to buy one time. My brother didn't think much about it, but his lie was soon exposed. In the morning, I got up early as usual and went out. I did a part-time job under the pretext of running. When I came back after work, I heard my brother and Pantene arguing. The reason was that my brother had recently watched The Last Car, thinking that he would have face when driving back to his hometown during the Chinese New Year. When he discussed it with Pantene, he was hesitant to accept it. He was smart for once, and noticed that Pantene's attitude was not right. On a whim, he checked the balance in his bank card, and saw that there were only a few thousand yuan left in it. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. The 2 of them slammed things in the room and my brother yelled, "Where is the money? Where did the 80,000 yuan in my card go? Didn't you say that this thing only costs a few hundred yuan? Show me your mobile phone transfer records." Pantene shouted louder than my brother. "It's all your fault that you are incompetent. You only earn so little money every month. Who can spend it? Besides, I keep in good shape so that you can take me out with face. Xingyang, do you have a conscience? Isn't it natural for men to earn money and women to spend it? If you have no money, go and earn it. If not, find a capable woman for your sister. If you marry a rich man and get hundreds of thousands of dowry, you will have money to buy a car." I felt cold when I heard it outside the house. The quarrel escalated into a fight. Soon a muffled groan and Pantene's scream were heard in the room. When the 2 were pushing and shoving, Pantene pushed my brother hard. My brother fell down and hit his head on the corner of the bedside table. His eyes rolled back and he fainted. Fortunately, he was sent to the hospital. After a series of examinations, he was fine. When my brother woke up, my parents were still working on the construction site. Pantene was busy going home to take medicine on time. I was the only one guarding in the ward. He opened his eyes and was in a trance for a few seconds. After he came to his senses, he kept staring at me, which made me feel creepy. Finally, when I heard Pantene humming outside the door, my brother asked me, Xinger, if I wanted to go to City A to study. In my previous life, I dreamed of going to City A to study at university. I worked hard to study and finally got the university I wanted. I didn't get the admission letter from the e-school, but was stabbed to death by Pantene a week before the school started. This was the biggest pain in my previous life except for death. I don't know why my brother asked this suddenly, but I nodded subconsciously. He smiled and didn't say anything else. At this time, Pantene pushed the door in and saw that my brother woke up. He rolled his eyes and said, "The doctor said that the injury on your head is okay. So why are you still lying there? A day in the hospital is very expensive. Get up quickly and pack up and go home. Go to work tomorrow." My brother didn't refute, but nodded and agreed with a smile. After returning home, my brother was uncharacteristically, and didn't quarrel with Pantene about money again. He didn't even mention the fact that he was injured and hospitalized. He even took the initiative to support Pantene's weight loss cause, saying, "Wife, I know you are losing weight for my own good. Your husband shouldn't quarrel with you. No matter what you do in the future, I support you in everything. You can eat those weight loss products. Your husband will work harder to make money for you. As long as you are happy, I am happy." Pantene is very happy. My brother is used to being cowardly in front of her. But she didn't think there was anything wrong. I saw my brother coaxing Pantene with a smile, and buying another 8,000 yuan weight loss package. I felt cold sweat on my back. As a brother and sister for so many years, I know my brother too well. In my brother's heart, Pantene can only rank second, and Face is the first. He doesn't care about saving money to buy a car now, and continues to let Pantene spend money to buy weight loss pills. Seeing him coaxing Pantene with a smile and a few words, I suddenly felt that my brother seemed to have become a different person. A bold idea suddenly came into my mind. Since I can be reborn, could it be that my brother is the same as me? This time the injured person was hospitalized, and cause he was reborn, how else could he explain it? He suddenly asked me about my studies and what happened at home after I died in my previous life. After this time, Pantene took diet pills more and more crazily. He could still maintain his figure without controlling his diet, which made him taste the sweetness. Sometimes he was hungry in the middle of the night, so he ordered fried chicken and barbecue and ate until his mouth was full of oil. After eating, he stuffed 3 times the usual amount of diet pills. The next morning after eating, his weight remained at a stable number. Seeing me coming back panting every day, he would mock me for working so hard every day but not losing weight, unlike him who could lose weight successfully by eating and drinking a lot at home. Even my parents felt a little scary when they saw him holding most of the colorful capsules and stuffing them into his mouth. They only advised him once that medicine is 3-point poison. At this time, my brother would jump out to defend Pantene. Chin is in good health. The weight loss consultant said that these drugs are all extracted from pure plants and are harmless to the body. You old people don't understand young people's things. Parents, don't worry about it. Pantene was very happy and took my brother's arm and acted coquettishly. My husband still understands me the best. With the indulgence of my brother's friendship, the last savings of the family were secretly used by Pantene to buy weight loss pills. When my university was about to start, my mother took her bank card to withdraw money from my tuition. As a result, the staff told her that there were only a few dollars left in it. My mother thought that the bank had embezzled it at first, and she cried and made a fuss in the bank hall. Everyone, come and see. This black-hearted bank embezzled our hard-earned money. Last year and this year's wages were deposited into this card. There were at least tens of thousands of dollars in it, but now there are only a few dollars left. Damn bank, return my hard-earned money. It's a weekday. There were many people doing business in the bank, and soon a large circle of people gathered around, pointing at my mother, and the security guards also rushed over. My mother was timid in front of Pantene, but very fierce in front of outsiders. She immediately lay on the ground, flailing her hands and feet, struggling as if she was trying to kill someone, and the bank was trying to kill her for money. She also threatened the security guards who surrounded her, saying, "I tell you, I have a heart disease, don't touch me, be careful. I will have a heart attack and blackmail you to death." After a long time of fussing, the bank manager came out and respectfully invited my mother to his office. He specially checked my mother's bank card transactions for her, and told her that the money in the bank card had been transferred to another account in batches in the past 3 months by a WeChat account called Inxian's daughter. Inxian's daughter is Pantene's WeChat name. The thief was in her own home. My mother almost fainted in the bank with anger, and he didn't, knowing that the weight loss pills Pantene bought were so expensive. She thought he had cheated on her and was using the family money to support a man outside. She came home from the bank in a rage. Pantene was lying on the sofa, eating potato chips and watching TV. My mother was so angry that she rushed up and slapped Pantene hard in the face. "Bitch, how dare you do such a shameless thing behind my son's back and steal my money to support a wild man? I'll beat you to death." Long-term medication has caused Pantene's body to develop drug resistance. Those weight loss pills have less and less effect on him. Toxins are accumulating more and more in his body, just waiting for the right time to explode completely. My mother slapped him, and Pantene didn't have time to open his mouth. Blood spurted out of his nose and mouth and he fainted. He was rushed to the hospital for blood tests. After a series of examinations, it was found that Pantene had cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, just like in his previous life. She had to be hospitalized immediately. It was said that if she didn't recover well in the later stages, she would have to spend the rest of her life lying in bed. Compared with her previous life, Pantene's illness started much earlier. My mother was a little scared, worried that she had hurt him with that slap. She asked the doctor tremblingly what the cause of the illness was. The doctor looked at Pantene's examination report with a heavy face. He asked about the patient's usual living habits, and whether she had eaten anything she shouldn't have. My mother was still recalling. I answered in advance that my sister-in-law usually loses weight and has been buying a kind of diet pill. She has been taking it for several months. The doctor said that all medicines are 3-point poison. Many weight loss products on the market now have not been tested by the state. If you take too much, toxins will accumulate in the body, and problems will arise sooner or later. It has nothing to do with the slap. My mother breathed a sigh of relief. On the way back to the ward, she met my brother who had hurried over after receiving the news in the corridor. He sent my mother away and said he wanted to talk to me. Facing my puzzled look, he handed me an envelope. I opened it and saw a full stack of money and a bank card inside. What is this for? My brother turned his head and glanced in the direction of the ward side and asked, "Have you received the admission letter from a university? The school will start in less than a month, and your sister-in-law is sick now, and there is not much money left at home. This is the 2-month salary I asked my boss for in advance. You can go to a city with this money first and study hard at school when school starts and don't worry about things at home." I was confused by what he said, as if he wanted to take this opportunity to let me leave home. But with my brother's character, how could he suddenly become so good to me? I suddenly thought of my previous guess and tentatively asked, "Brother, are you going to start over again too?" My brother's eyes widened suddenly. In a small noodle restaurant near the hospital, my brother told me what happened after he died in his previous life. Pantene, she rushed into my room and stabbed me to death. My parents found out later and were going to call the police, but she cried and told my parents that she was pregnant. Pantene and my brother had been married for almost 2 years, but there was no movement in her belly. My parents were looking forward to it, but they didn't expect the child to come under such circumstances. At that time, Pantene told my parents that I had always laughed at him for becoming a fat man, and I said that he was not worthy of my brother, and asked him and my brother to divorce as soon as possible, and even planned to hit him. He had to stab me with a knife to protect the child in his belly. As it involved their unborn grandson, my parents immediately changed their attitude and scolded me for dying. I dared to hit my sister-in-law and nephew. This kind of heartless bitch should just die. We would just pretend that we had never given birth to this daughter. They even teamed up with Pantene to dispose of my body. When my brother asked about it, he lied and said that I had registered for school in advance and that I hadn't in this life. He recovered well after being hospitalized, but he did not learn his lesson after being discharged from the hospital. Because his previous illness had nothing to do with diet pills, he started taking them secretly without the knowledge of his family in order to continue losing weight. As a result, all the toxins accumulated in the baby in his stomach, and the baby was born prematurely with multiple organ failure. All the family savings were spent, and hundreds of thousands of foreign debts were borrowed, but they were still unable to save the baby. Not only that, my brother finally discovered that the child's blood type was completely different from his own. He secretly asked someone to do a paternity test and found out that the child was not his at all. It turned out that Pantene had been buying diet pills, and she spent so much money that she unknowingly hooked up with the man who sold diet pills. Not only did she lose the child, she was also in debt. My parents got up early and went to work on the construction site to earn money. My brother exposed Pantene's cheating, and my father couldn't stand the blow and died of anger. My mother was in a trance while working on the construction site, and was hit by a falling steel bar. He was seriously injured and died in the hospital without rescue. Before he died, he cried and told my brother the truth about my death. Accidents happened one after another in the family. My brother was busy dealing with the funeral of my parents, and had no time to settle the score with Pantene. Because it was an accident at a construction site, the boss of the construction site paid 500,000 yuan in compensation. As a result, as soon as the money reached my brother, he was hit and killed by Pantene and her lover who sold weight loss pills. My mother's compensation also fell into Pantene's pocket. Our whole family was killed by Pantene. My brother died with hatred, and when he opened his eyes again, he found that he had returned to the time when Pantene was still taking weight loss pills. After experiencing the successive departures of his family members and the betrayal of his lover, my brother's personality became much calmer after his rebirth, and he is no longer the same to me as before. We now have a common enemy. He stuffed the stack of money into my arms. Pantene is like this now. I am afraid that one day he will go crazy and do something to you like he did in his previous life, so in order to protect your safety, Quan, take this money and go to Cydia first and come back after I have settled everything. I stared at him for 2 seconds and then agreed. Okay, I will listen to your arrangements. We separated from the small noodle shop, and I went straight home to pack my luggage. I immediately bought a ticket to City A. I found a part-time job near the school, and while working I quietly paid attention to the movements at home. After my brother and I separated, he returned to the hospital with a stack of hospital bills and told my parents that the money in the card was gone for some reason. The doctor said that the situation was serious and only conservative treatment could be given. It was just a waste of money to stay in the hospital, so it would be better to take Pantene home. This time Pantene had not yet woken up and had no choice. Of course, my mother knew how the money in the card was gone. She hated Pantene, but was afraid that telling the truth about Pantene's cheating would make my brother sad. So she nodded and tacitly agreed to my brother's suggestion. In this way, Pantene was taken home. 2 days later, my brother sent me a message saying that Pantene had woken up. But he has hemiplegia. Now he lies in bed like a useless person. He can't move his limbs and even speaks with a lisp. My brother took 10 videos for me in a row of Pantene waking up and finding that he couldn't move, lying on the bed in impotence and rage with saliva. Sister, just wait, brother will avenge you. After that day, my brother posted some photos of Pantene on social media every day, creating an image of a good man whose wife accidentally suffered hemiplegia and whose husband never left her. He also unexpectedly attracted a lot of fans because of this gimmick. Relying on this gimmick, my brother became a local internet celebrity and made a lot of money through live broadcasting and selling goods. But outside the camera, my brother was torturing Pantene all the time. What Pantene cared about most in his life was his figure, and the blood debt to our family was all caused by weight loss. So to retaliate against him, the best way is to destroy the things he cares about most bit by bit. I instigated Pantene to take an increased amount of weight loss medicine, that's how it is. My brother is doing the same thing now. He goes to the vegetable market every day to buy some pig's feet and chicken, and puts them in a pressure cooker when he comes back, stewing them into a pot of greasy tonic soup. He drinks 2 bowls of Pantene for every meal. The rebound after stopping the weight loss pills, plus the edema caused by long-term bed rest, plus the broth my brother drank. In less than a month, Pantene's body swelled up like a balloon. To kill someone, he must also destroy her heart. He bought a lot of mirrors online and put them everywhere in the room where Pantene was lying, so that Pantene could see herself in the mirror no matter which direction she looked at while lying on the bed. Her figure became bloated day after day, and under the dual torture of body and mind, her relationship gradually collapsed. At first, he just cursed my brother with a big tongue, saying, "I'm so unlucky to marry you, you quickly send me to the hospital, I don't want to lie in bed waiting to die." Later, when he saw that my brother was unmoved, he started to curse my mother as an old woman. You vicious woman, it's because you hit me that I became like this. I'm going to call the police. You abused me, let the police arrest you all." My mother pinched his mouth and stuffed pig's trotter soup into his mouth. "Bitch, you are not satisfied with marrying such a good man like my son. You even dared to cheat on us and use the family's money to support a wild man outside. Your current fate is retribution." Pantene's hospitalization money has been hooked up with the man who sells weight loss products, but it has not developed further. He did not expect that his affairs would be discovered so soon. When he thought of the day when his mother-in-law, who had always doted on him, suddenly attacked him, he was immediately scared. He lay in bed every day and couldn't move. His mind was full of fear that our family wanted to harm him, and he cried for help day and night. The family who killed and quarreled was miserable. For a week in a row, my mother was awakened by Pantene's howling in the middle of the night, and in excitement she rushed into Pantene's room. Pantene's room suffocated him to death with a pillow. My father heard the noise and got up, and found that my mother had accidentally killed someone. In order to avoid being discovered, the two of them worked together to disguise the death scene, just like they helped Pantene deal with my body in the previous life. Pantene couldn't stand the blow of her hemiplegia, so she pretended to commit suicide in this life again. My parents were still so cruel. Before leaving home, I secretly installed a surveillance camera in a hidden place in Pantene's room. I could see everything that happened in this room. I saw all my parents' movements in the middle of the night through the surveillance camera, and my heart sank to the bottom. In my previous life, in addition to Pantene, my parents were also accomplices in my death. My parents had always disapproved of my going to college. At the instigation of Pantene, they wanted to marry me off in exchange for a dowry to subsidize the family income. If they disagreed, Pantene would secretly give my mother advice. I have the habit of locking the door when I go to bed every night. In addition to myself, there is another key to my room in my mother's hand. Pantene told my mother that she would let the man she was going to marry me to sneak into my room and rape me while I was asleep in the middle of the night. The matter was already settled, and I would have to marry him even if I didn't want to. My mother readily agreed, and to make it easier for Pantene to do what he wanted, she gave him the key to my room. Unexpectedly, this key made it easier for Pantene to kill me. Not only was I not sad afterwards, I also helped him dispose of my body. There was no family affection at all. Since I had the chance to do it all over again, I would not let anyone who had hurt me think about it. I bought a ticket back overnight. Before going home, I took the surveillance video saved in my mobile phone and went to the police station. When the police arrived at my house, it had already been decorated as Pantene's morning hall. My parents and I, surrounded by relatives and friends, cried so sadly, as if Pantene's death had nothing to do with them. But when I entered the house, I saw the mobile phone placed in the corner of the morning hall, and my brother's social account was still. They were still eating Pantene's bloody buns while live streaming. When the police handcuffed the 3 people, their faces were still covered. You have caught the wrong person. My brother is very proud. This time he was handcuffed in front of so many relatives, friends, and fans and netizens. His face was ugly. Police comrade, have you made a mistake? My wife's death has nothing to do with me. My parents are so greedy that they collapsed when they saw the police. Before being taken away, my brother was surprised to see me suddenly appear in the morning hall. Sasha, why are you back? I leaned close to his ear and whispered in his ear. Brother, were you happy eating my bloody buns in your last life? The last time Qingyang and I confessed our rebirth, I told Qingyang that I opened my eyes again immediately after being stabbed to death by Pantene. He believed me and simply thought that I knew nothing, so he made up a story for me about how badly he was harmed by Pantene in his last life. In fact, after I died, my soul has been floating around this family. Qingyang knew it immediately after my parents dealt with my body. At that time, he didn't know that Pantene had cheated on him. He was immersed in the good news of Pantene's pregnancy and didn't care about my death. But at that time, the family savings had been almost spent by Pantene. Qingyang saw that live streaming on the internet could make money, so he thought of a good way to make money. He started a live streaming, found an internet celebrity company, packaged himself as a good brother looking for his missing sister, won the sympathy of many netizens, and received donations from many kind-hearted people in the society. The rewards were exactly the same as what he did in this life, live streaming and selling goods, using the sympathy of netizens to make a lot of money, and he made hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month. Because he succeeded once, he was so familiar with eating Pantene's blood buns in this life, but what happened later was similar to what he told me. Qingyang discovered that Pantene had cheated on him and the child in her belly, it's not his own, right? He was mad at her. When he was arguing with Pantene, he pushed her down the stairs and killed her. Pantene and her lover created an accident for money and killed Qingyang. All the Yu family members died. Pantene happily went to a new life with the money, but he didn't expect that the man who sold fake medicine cheated him of all his money and abandoned him. His efforts were in vain. Looking at his bloated figure that could never be reduced, he climbed up a tall building and jumped down like a madman. I saw with my own eyes that Pantene had a bad end, so I felt at ease to reincarnate. Unexpectedly, when I opened my eyes and went back to the time before everything happened, none of my family members were innocent in my death. My mother treated me without any guilt from beginning to end. She gave me a sum of money in the hospital before, and asked me to leave home and go to school first. She also said that she would avenge me. She didn't think about me at all. She was obviously afraid that I would be at home and expose him. She wanted to use Pantene behind his back. Pantene was doing disgusting things to seek personal gain, so he sent me to the police station first. On the day I called the police, the surveillance video I provided to the police station, in addition to the fake scene of my parents killing Pantene late at night, also included clips of Qingyang torturing Pantene verbally and physically. He grabbed Pantene's hair and slapped him, and poured boiling oil soup on him until he was almost suffocated. I edited all these scenes separately and sent them to the police. Not only that, I also packaged a copy and sent it to the internet. The title was Revealing the Unknown Story Behind Qingyang, a 24-year-old good man. The true face of his painstakingly cultivated good husband persona was known to the entire internet. It was related to murder. Pantene's body was sent to the local forensic appraisal center for autopsy. The body he cared about most was now completely a pool of rotten meat, lying on the cold metal table. The autopsy results showed that in addition to suffocation, Pantene also had a large amount of toxins accumulated in his body. I reported it to the police in time. The police were provided with evidence that Pantene had been buying weight loss pills for a long time. The police followed the clues and arrested the unscrupulous vendor named who specialized in customized weight loss products. The unscrupulous manufacturer of weight loss pills behind him was also busted. My mother was sentenced to 15 years for murder. My father died of a sudden heart attack the day before the verdict. Qingyang was sentenced to 10 years for abuse and fraud. On the day of the verdict, I was sitting in the audience and saw my mother being taken away in tears. Qingyang looked up and saw me with cruel eyes, as if he wanted to eat me. I waved to him from a distance saying, "Brother, have a good journey." I believe that 10 years of imprisonment will definitely transform him into a good person. Everything was settled. I sold my house at a low price and took my admission letter to report to a university. I still have a long life and enough time to complete the dreams that I couldn't complete in my previous life. The full text is over.